Hello, welcome to my shop. About 3 years ago I started making custom gift card holders out of wood. I make about 2 dozen a year and give them out, and people absolutely love these wood gift card holders. They cherish them a lot more than the gift card itself. Every year I get a little bit better at it, and this past year I developed this jig which really streamlines the process. So I'm going to show you how I make these custom gift card holders. And if you want to make one of these jigs, the second half of the video will be about how to make one of these jigs for yourself. You're going to need some basic woodworking skills. You're going to need a router table. You're going to need a flush trim router bit and probably a bandsaw. I say that because you're going to need to resaw whatever species wood you're using. I chose highly figured walnut. One side is a little bit thicker than an 1/8 inch, more like 5/32. And then the opposite side, this is the side we're going to be routing with this jig, and then the opposite side will be glued to that. And this is a little bit thicker than a 1/16 of an inch, more like 3/32. So I'll show you how it works, and I'll show you how to build this jig. All right, before I show you how this jig works here, I want to talk a little bit about the flush trim router bit. This is the bit we're going to be using for this project. These are all my flush trim router bits. I love the flush trim router bit. I use it all the time. This one in particular is my favorite. All these have one thing in common. They have a bearing mounted either above or below the bit that is the exact same diameter as the bit that allows you to route out profiles. In this case, the profile of a credit card. So we're going to be mounting this so it protrudes above the thickness of the jig by about a little more than the thickness of a credit card. So I've set the height of the router bit just slightly above the height of this relief credit card that we have mounted to the jig here, because we want it to be we want it to have a little bit of play in there. So we'll go ahead and we'll route our first one out here, and we'll check the height and adjust as needed. So I'm going to advance this to the edge of this credit card here, where it's going to act as a stop. I'm going to clamp it in place. Now, in order to check to see if our router bit height is correct, you put this down on a flat surface. That feels pretty good. We'll go ahead finishing the rest of these. All you do is you slide this down until it clicks into place, and this indexes your next cut. And we'll go ahead and route the rest of this board. All right, the next step is to cut these into individual pieces. I choose to use the bandsaw because the kerf of the blade is a lot thinner than the table saw. And then we're ready to start gluing them up. And this is the bottleneck in my production line here, is gluing them up, because you got to do them individually. You got to be careful how much glue you apply, because if you put too much glue in, it's going to squeeze out on the inside of this, and then your card's not going to fit. All right, we'll take this one that I just unclamped, and we'll go take it over to the belt sander and clean it up. Then it's over to the scroll saw, where I've drew a line here. All right, there you go. I cleaned it up with a spindle sander and a bit of hand sanding, and it's ready for a coat of finish. That's how I make these wooden gift card holders using this jig. I've made them several different ways. This year was a lot easier using this jig. I was able to churn out quite a few. I plan on making this video closer to the holidays, making it more relevant, but given the situation we're in, no better time than the present. And I got to jump on Christmas this year. So anyways, thanks for watching. If you're interested in how I made this, I'm sure most of you will know how to make it just by looking at it. But if you're interested in how I made this, that's what the rest of the video is about. So thanks for watching. All right, so I've got my wood here. This is a piece of very flat 1/2-inch Baltic birch. And I got 3 pieces of 1/2 inch or so poplar here to make our template for cutting out the relief for the credit card. All these have been squared up as best I can. This piece here, you want it to be at least 4 3/4 inches wide. The length is totally up to you. This is about 12 inches. Now, first what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw a line 3 inches from the edge of the board. That's gonna give us enough room. Enough room here to glue our credit card to index each cut. Now we're going to position the credit card right up against this line here. We're going to put one of these here. And then what I'm going to do, I've already drew a line on this piece here, the width of a credit card, and I'm going to cut a little bit more on this side, like a 1/16 of an inch, because you're going to want some wiggle room in there for, you're going to want a little bit of wiggle room for your relief cutout, because there's going to be some glue that's going to squeeze out in there, and if it's exactly right, it's going to be too tight. You're going to be throwing away half of these that you make. Now we know that's a little proud, and see what kind of wiggle room we have here with it. This should be good. The other thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to position your credit card about 1/8 inch back from the leading edge here. And the reason for that is that depending on the diameter of your bit, the credit card is not going to seat all the way back there because of the difference in the diameter of your flush trim router bit versus the diameter of this curvature of the credit card. So it's not going to seat all the way back, leaving about a little bit less than an 1/8 inch gap. So unless you want to be trimming this up with a chisel, this will save you a lot of the hassle of the trim work. Make sure that's square, and then we're going to fasten these down with some 3/4 inch brad nails. Now remember, 1/8 inch back. Okay, now we'll go ahead and rough this out with the bandsaw, and then with the flush trim router bit, we'll make it perfect. Put it over, route it with flush trim router bit. All right. So I've routed it out, and I've ripped a piece of Baltic birch the same width as the back here, and you need it wide enough to accept whatever clamps you're going to place on there. And I'm going to clamp it down to the bench here. That'll ensure that the whole project stays flat and give it some increased stability. All right, so the final step here is to mount your hold downs and credit card here for indexing purposes. Before I go any further, I want to tell you I made a mistake. I mounted this strip here flush with the back of the relief for the flush trim router bit. That's a mistake. You need to set it back at least an 1/8 inch to allow you to have an 1/8 inch unrouted back here for gluing. If you mount it flush, it's going to route right out to the edge like this. So I took it to the table saw, and I just ripped the width of my table saw blade back, and that should be enough now for gluing purposes. So I mounted this credit card here using epoxy. I suppose two-sided tape will work, but you want to give you, basically it's for indexing purposes. You're gonna route one, then move it over, route another one. And you wanna leave enough for you to be able to cut down the middle and have at least an 1/8 inch for gluing purposes. So that's right down the middle, allow for the kerf width of your bandsaw blade as well. So I suggest 3/8 of an inch would be enough. You may want to leave more if you're planning on doing rips with a table saw that has a much thicker blade than a bandsaw. And then finally, last thing is to mount your hold downs, and you're going to want them to land in the areas that are not going to be routed, which is right on either side of the relief. So I'll go ahead and screw those in. Real easy to do. I won't show you how I do that. And that's it. You're done.